Okay, hey guys. I guess this is my first official YouTube video. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous. This is something that I've wanted to do for a really long time. I'm excited to jump right into things. Bear with me. My setup is not perfect. If you guys could see what I'm working with, it's definitely far from perfect, but we will get there. This is something, like I said, I've wanted to do for a really long time. So yeah, I just want to jump right into it. Today we're going to be talking about blue eyeshadow. So a lot of times I do a lot of different looks with blue. I love doing blue eyeshadow looks. It's like one of my favorite looks to do. I'll put a few pictures around somewhere with a few different looks that I've done. And I always get questions when I do blue more than any other color, why do brands put just one single blue eyeshadow in a palette? How do I use that? I always get a lot of questions about that. So today I want to go over the basics, just kind of like the basics of blue. Maybe I'll do a full colorful kind of series if that's something that you guys are interested in. But I want to jump right into it. So the very first thing that I want to start about when it comes to blue eyeshadow specifically is a base. So a lot of people still kind of set their eyeshadow base. I use this. I use a NARS Soft Matte Concealer. This is really amazing for literally canceling out any discoloration that you have on the eyes. It's really amazing for keeping the shadow on too. I don't set it. I keep it really tacky, and it really helps to hold on to that blue pigment. I'm going to talk a little bit about brushes as I go. I don't want to give too much information right now. I'd rather kind of show you as I'm doing the little tutorial. So I'm going to hop off for a second. I'm going to do the full look on my right eye, and then I'm going to do kind of a tutorial follow through on my left side. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay, cool. So this is what we got going on the right side. So I'm going to show you kind of how I duplicated this, or how to duplicate this on the left-hand side. Today I'm going in with the James Charles palette. So a lot of people have this palette, a lot of people have seen this palette. There's a lot of really beautiful blue-based eyeshadows on the market. I keep looking at my viewfinder and I need to look at my camera. Anyway, there's a lot of blue-based palettes on the market that I do love, but I feel like the James Charles palette just has a little bit of everything. It's very accessible to a lot of people. I know a lot of people love it, a lot of people hate it, but all around I just chose this one specifically because I feel like it is pretty easy to get your hands on if you are new at makeup. So let's get into it. The very first thing I'm going to do is go in with the NARS Soft Matte Concealer. I love this for priming my eyes. Let me zoom you in. So I have you guys zoomed in. The first thing I'm doing is going in with my NARS Soft Matte Concealer. I love this one as an eyeshadow primer because it is a little bit tacky, but it's not sticky. So your eyeshadows still do blend out really nicely, but you need something that's going to really hold that pigment. I don't know if I said this already, but I don't set this either. Make sure that when you're working with blue shadows, whatever base that you are using, make sure that you don't set it. Because really, blue eyeshadow is a little bit difficult to formulate rather than something like an orange or a red shadow or something like that. So you really want a base that's going to grab onto the pigment. Cool. So once I have that all situated, I'm going to go in with a little bit of a mixture with the dark blue, the darkest blue in the palette, and the black. And I'm basically going to take that on a Morphe M434. So basically this is should I do the YouTuber thing? Is it working? Let's see. Oh, you can kind of see. So basically it's a synthetic, flat kind of blending brush. Please focus. It's a synthetic flat kind of blending brush. So really what we're doing first before anything is depositing the color. So I'm not focusing too much on blending. I'm really just focusing on getting that color down where I need it to be. So I know this looks pretty messy right now, and it's going to, but once I have that blue placed where I want it to, I can then go in and start blending. So I'm going to take the same brush, no extra pigment, and I'm going to really lightly just blend the edge of that blue. trying to blend that very edge. So it's a little bit more diffused now. And then I'm going to go in with a 441 brush from Morphe. This is one of my absolute favorite blending brushes. Kind of see. Anyway, this is an M441 brush. You can't fucking see it, but there we go. Hi, how are ya? I'm a real YouTuber. Anyway, this one's really good for just diffusing color. So I'm gonna go in with the kind of lighter, like ocean blue shade. And I'm just gonna start kind of blending that very edge. So I'm doing more of this like windshield wiper kind of motion, just going back and forth. Dipping in a little bit more with that dark blue shade, and just kind of blending the two colors together. And then again with that very lightest kind of blue color, I'm going to start blending and diffusing that upwards. Cool. I'm going to take a little bit of the white in the palette and just mix it again with that lightest blue shade. And take that, blending that lightest blue color. We basically just want all of these blues to be like a really soft gradient. So we want to start from the absolute darkest and then blend to the lightest. And the reason that I do this too, instead of building like a transition, I know a lot of people will go in and they'll do like a light blue, then a medium blue, then a dark blue, and then a black. But what I find is that a lot of, like I said earlier, a lot of blue eyeshadows don't always build on each other the best. So really doing this where you're pressing the pigment down and then blending, you can really layer and build that color and get that really intense, like really rich intensity, but you're still getting a really beautiful blend too. It looks pretty good to me. So once I have all of my crease color kind of worked out and blended nicely, I can always go back in and kind of manipulate and blend more where I need to. I'm going to take that dark kind of metallic blue shade in the palette. I'm going to take that on like a flat kind of synthetic brush like this. Does that work? Yeah, so it's just like a flat kind of synthetic brush. I'm going to spray that with a little bit of setting spray. This is going to really intensify the pigment. And I'm just going to pat that on where that darkest blue is on my outer V shape. Actually, I hate that. I'm going to go with my finger and just pack that color on with my finger. So once I get that to the desired intensity that I want it to be and everything is blended out, I'm going to do a little bit of liner. I don't like to do, personally, I don't like to do anything super graphic or crazy with my liner. I literally just do a straight line across. I'm going to use a Kat Von D tattoo liner. I'm going to take a little bit of the black shadow with just like a small kind of detailed pointer brush like this. Listen, y'all, this is a fucking struggle already. Can you see that goddamn brush? It's a detailer brush. Take it with that black shadow and just really lightly blend that outer corner. So once I feel like I have everything nice and blended, I think this looks pretty good so far. I'm going to do my complexion and my base and everything off camera, and then I'm going to come back, do the lower lash line and show you guys how I do that, and then we'll wrap this look up. Okay, y'all, now listen. I know this is a little bit intense. It's a little drag queeny, which is totally my vibe. Not saying that you have to do this intense blue, but this is pretty much the completed eye look. I want to show you, I did my brows off camera, I did my complexion, I did mascara and everything. I just want to show you how I did the lower lash line, because I do also get questions on how I like do that really smoky kind of like blown out lash line look. So I'm taking my NARS Soft Matte Concealer again, and I'm going to take a little bit of that just on my pinky finger and literally take that right under my lash line. Because I used powder under my eye to set my concealer under my eye, there's basically nothing for the shadow to stick to at this point. So that's why I go back in with a little bit of the concealer, just so that the shadow has something to stick to. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the black shade and a little bit of that darkest blue shade again. And I'm going to just pack that right on this outer V shape, dragging it a little bit inwards. This looks kind of crazy, I know. But once I get to the center part, kind of like the center of my pupil, I'm going to switch and I'm going to go back in with that kind of lighter, kind of aqua blue shade. And I'm going to start packing that right from the center inwards. But once I get that to where I want it to be, I'm going to take a little bit of that lighter aqua blue shade. I'm going to take my M441 again and just really lightly, back and forth, just blend. Now I know a lot of people don't love this really smoked out kind of lower lash line look, which I totally understand. It's a lot. But I just wanted to show you guys how I do it, because when I do my eyeshadow, when I do any type of colorful look, I love monochrome. I love that really smoky, intense, you know, if I'm going to do blue, I'm going to do blue everywhere. That's what I'm into. Alright, cool. So you can see, now we're very hazy, very blown out. I'm going to take a little bit, this is a Sephora, like, shadow stick. This is, I don't even know what color this is, but it's like a darker blue shade. And I'm going to literally just put that on my waterline, do a little bit of mascara off camera, and then I'll be back to wrap it up. Okay, y'all, so this is the completed look. I have my lash line done, my brows done, everything. I just went in, I took a little bit of MAC Spice lip liner and Pixie gloss from Morphe. I think it complements the whole look really well. So yeah, I know this is definitely out of a lot of people's comfort zones. Definitely very different, but I wanted to do a look on how I do my blue kind of shadow looks. I get a lot of questions on it. So yeah, I guess that's it. I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.